Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, October 12th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is my inner peace and harmony remind me that every moment carries a gift. Every astrological transit carries a gift. And I'm laughing because we've got another week ahead of us. I want to do a little week overview, but as I'm looking at it, I'm like, is it as tenuous as last week's? Maybe not, but still, we've got some intensity going on this week. The first biggest thing I think that we have going on this week is we actually have Mercury going retrograde. So Mercury will be going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio at 11 degrees later in the evening on Tuesday, the 13th. I said 11 degrees, master degrees. So we're getting a lot of these master energies, which always remind us to take our fingers and point them back at ourselves. That this is a master lesson for ourselves, not like mastering everybody else. This Mercury retrograde will retrograde back into Libra. So dual signs. But the thing with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, which is where it's starting, is that the emotions can go very, very deep. We want to keep that in mind because, speaking of deep emotions, we are going into the dark of the moon this week. We are preparing for a new moon on Friday this week. So we'll have dark of the moon, which again can surface deeper emotional energies. Now we pair that with the other astro for this week. In the back of my mind, what is it? The Seven Dwarves, hi ho, it's off to work we go. Like literally that's what I hear as I'm telling you these transits. I don't know why I'm laughing about it because I think it's just gotten to a point where I have to laugh at 2020 or else I don't know. Anyway, so we have the sun making a lot of challenging connections this week. So we have the sun opposite Mars, so oppositions pushing and pulling against each other. It can actually work in harmony. It can really help expand us and stretch us, but a lot of times we have to find the push and pull before we kind of surrender. Like, oh wait, I don't have to play tug of war with the universe. So be aware of any tug of warring going on with the universe. And then we build into some of the squares that we've got going on. So Sun square Pluto. So again, we had those Plutonic colonics last week. This may bring a little bit more Plutonicness, colonicness to the surface. I do want to say, that's the thing with Libra, is that Libra does try to stay in harmony and balance. And yet it's really good for us to be pulled out of our center. It's actually very stretching. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has to go through lessons. So this isn't woe is me, why me? It's all of us. We are all going through these lessons. So just keep that in mind in and through this. And again, Pluto is like, how am I being called into my empowerment? And again, it will be at that master level degree. So again, even if all of them out there are stressing you out, bring it back to yourself. Personal authority, personal power. Like I said, Friday has that new moon in Libra energy. Oh, and that new moon is smack dab between Pluto and Saturn. And Pluto and Saturn really were the ones that kicked off 2020 when they came together in a conjunction, and we've been kind of dealing with the fallout of that ever since. And I don't know why I'm laughing. This must be my energetic release for all this, because holy moly, it has been intense. Anyway, so this new moon smack dab in between Pluto and Saturn energy. So again, Pluto, personal empowerment, and that Saturn reminding us we're here for purpose, on purpose, and we have to just keep making our way back to being true to that energy, making our way back into personal authority and trusting in that energy in and of ourselves. it really is. That's where we can step into a new level of responsibility. Not responsibility, not what society tells you you should be doing, but responding in a way that is true to your highest authority, your highest and best self. Hoofda. Yeah. Lots of squares between like Mars and Jupiter are going to be squaring those cardinal signs. And so the cardinal signs usually are the take charge energy. So it's like the leadership within us is really getting a bit battered. But I really do feel like it is to help us shift up levels, and the battering, it's taking away the veils and the extras that do not fit. So week ahead, intensity. Today, sub-intensity. We actually have two fast-moving yods going on. So we have one that's pointing at the moon in Leo as the moon finishes up in Leo. Remembering joy, remembering to laugh, remembering love in and through this energy, that will help you through this transformation. And speaking of transformation, that is the other fast-moving yod energy. We have the moon in Leo and the North Node feeding into Pluto in Capricorn energy. Transformation. Moving through those places where you may feel victimized by 2020 or whatever it may be. But it's funny because it's at 22 degrees. So again, personal power, finding the joy, moving through those hidden ego traps into the changes that we are being called upon. But if you are yod sensitive, do be aware we have, like I said, both of those, they're kind of enacted at the same time, but it's going to be fast moving. Anytime the moon is part of the yod, it moves through very fast. Besides that, like I said, the moon will be finishing up in Leo through the day. We're going to have a void moon day. So, moon in Leo, you may feel little lazy cat. I have a lazy cat laying right here. She was through an ordeal today, so she's entitled to the lazy. And so are you. Again, we have been through ordeals this year. Rest as much as you can, even if that rest is like a 5-minute meditation recalibration energy, reminding yourself that finding your balance is a major part of this lesson or the lessons right now. What do you need at this time to find yourself back in that space of balance? So Jupiter and Neptune are connecting. That's, like I said, part of that yod energy. Again, not getting caught up in the illusions, not getting caught up in the delusions. I hope you saw my post that I did for Sunday, where I did a little write-up and I had the card Maya, which means illusions. Not getting caught up in that, allowing yourself to maintain a vision, maintain hope, even when things feel hopeless. The laughter, like I can't seem to stop right now, that helps. That supports this energy. We also have Mercury. Mercury, like I said, about to go retrograde, connecting with Venus. Keeping your thoughts in focus, in healing focus, in worth focus. Again, Mercury in Scorpio, it can go very deep. It can get dark. Mercury in Scorpio can get fearful. I have Mercury in Scorpio, and when I allow myself to get caught up in the fears, oh my goodness, does it like suck me in like quicksand. So be very aware of that. And yet that Venus in Virgo, it's very anchored in this energy. And so utilizing the focus on the good things, focus on your healing, focus on that self-care. 11 degrees, master level degree. There is healing in this. Even as you like see the fears and like address them and work on that root chakra energy. Even so, just be aware of not getting sucked in, and yet that you can still face that energy. Speaking of Virgo, the moon will shift into Virgo about 10 p.m. Pacific time. So we're going to have some strong Virgo lessons this week. Now, Virgo, again, can be very healing as long as we don't get too sucked into the critical nature of it. And realize with Virgo, we are given the gift of focus, but it is up to you what you focus on. So do keep that in mind with Virgo energy incoming. Speaking of Virgo energy, I have the stress card. Again, what are you going to focus on? Here, this guy, he's trying to do way too much. I always say with this card, take your monkeys out for a walk, meaning your mind is overwrought. It is time to take a little break. I love this. I feel like the receptivity card goes hand in hand with that Mercury, Venus energy, loving on yourself, being kind to yourself. We all need it as part of making this change energy. I have the possibilities card. Ooh, dropping things. Possibilities card in reverse. This to me reminds me of the odds. Don't let how bleak things can seem to you, don't let it sink your battleship. You have so much power. Yes, it's good to see how things are, and yet there are so many illusions, and the and is so important in this. And the universe has a plan. And what is your part in that plan? That's part of that Saturn energy that we really do want to engage in. So I'm going to leave that here for now. Happy Monday. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And stay curious. Namaste.